Buff Nation, what is going on? I am joined by my good friend Russ, as always, to break down what we saw against Delaware this past week, maybe the slight controversy we got at the quarterback position. Of course, we're going to preview what we're making of this Colorado-Houston matchup on Friday night. Russ, how are you doing again? Thank you so much for doing this with me every Wednesday. Want to say hello to everybody in the chat as well. Be sure to like, subscribe, get in here. Guys, let's have some fun tonight. Russ, what's up, man? How are you feeling post Delaware?
I'm feeling a lot of things, Dave. When we talked last week, we had a view on this that it was going to go one of two ways. It was either going to be a close / a loss, which would be like the end of the world, or it would be a blowout. Well, technically on the scoreboard, it was a blowout, but it didn't feel like it. So, feeling a little bit interesting about, that game. I'm interested to get your opinions, your ideas, what you saw from, seeing it on the TV. I obviously was in person. I have watched a lot of the All-22, so I do have some thoughts, concerns when it comes to Colorado and what's going to happen coming forward. So it's going to be very interesting with that. What about you, Dave? How are you feeling now heading into the Houston game post-Delaware?
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about your game day experience. I got to say, not the best performance, of course, we saw from Colorado, but enough to get it done. I think right now, strangely enough, I have more concerns about our defense than I do our offense right now with Ryan Staub, even though he's a little bit more of a question mark. And man, I forgot to say this off the top. Guys, sports should be fun. Sports is the great unifier. Today, I think, was a really difficult day for a lot of people. Again, we had the school shooting over at, was it Evergreen High out in Jeffco? And then, of course, the murder of Charlie Kirk. Terrible things, guys. I don't condone any violence. Sports is the great unifier. The only way we come out of this as a society is when we continue to talk and converse with different types of people, get to know people from different backgrounds, and we embrace each other as a society. And sports is our great avenue, I think, to do a lot of this in. So I just wanted to get that out there as well and talk about that very quickly. But a little bit down today, but really excited to see what Ryan Staub is able to do against this Houston defense. But what was the feeling of the crowd in your area when all of this was going on? I know you weren't expecting Staub to show up there at the end of the first half. What were you thinking of Caden Salter, Julian Lewis, all that? Give us the whole story.
So I had a fun day on Saturday because I sat in the Delaware section, Dave. I sat in the Delaware section. The tickets were cheap, man. Okay? I don't think many Delaware fans decided to make that journey. In fact, most of the people that were in my section were parents of the kids on the field. So I did have a look around at some of the Buffs fans around me when Ryan Staub took the field. And I was even one of them in the crowd being like, what the heck are we doing? Why are we going third string? I figured, hey, because again, hearing what Uncle Neely had to say before the game, he said that Julian Lewis is probably going to play more than people think. So when Julian Lewis came in the first half, I was like, okay, great. They're letting Julian Lewis ride the rest of the game. And I was excited to see what he could do. Even after his 2 drives weren't that successful, I was like, okay, let him get in a rhythm. Let him take his time. Let him figure things out. It's fine. We're okay. It's going to be okay. And when Staub comes on the field with a few seconds left in the half, I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? His first 2 plays weren't the greatest. I was immediately being like, okay, well, again, this is very confusing. Then when he goes off, gets the 2-minute, 45-second, I should say, drill and gets a touchdown, everybody went a little crazy. It was a great way to end the half. And when he comes back out on the field for the second half, again, I'm thinking, what is going on? And what does he do but throw the touchdown pass to Sincere Brown? And it's like everybody's high-fiving and getting all excited. It energized and jacked up the whole stadium, Dave.
Dude, that was such a high-level throw. It was a high-level throw, man.
The first throw that he hit over the top on the layered pass, in the 45-second drive, that one made us go, oh, wow, okay. And then to drop it off to the running back, which we've been waiting for, make the simple play. He had plenty of time in the pocket and got that touchdown. I mean, just everything was great. As far as everything else, it was interesting talking to Delaware fans. I got into it with a Delaware fan on social media today because they decided to clip one of my videos
I saw
from
a little
Monday.
bit of that with what was it, the ghost of Joe Flacco? What was his name?
Yeah, it's something like that. I have no idea. I think he blocked me at this point because
I'm
I don't know if he
Hen
loved
fan now, man.
I don't
didn't
know if
there was any bad blood.
I called out and said that Mancucci had a bad game. Like, the reason Delaware lost that game was because Mancucci had a bad game. And I said that in my video. I said he could not complete a pass down the field to save his life. All of his passes were 10 yards or less that he was completing. Anything further was thrown out of the reaches of his receivers. He clips that video, throws it on Twitter, says what an idiot I am because, hey, Mancucci threw for 300 yards, Dave. Almost all those yards came from passes 7 yards or less that his receivers took down the field because CU couldn't tackle to save their life. That was on our defense. That is not because their quarterback is some amazing player. And they had a chance, Dave, to stay in that game. He missed some throws where guys were wide open. Our defense got bailed out a number of times in that game because he was overthrowing his receivers. There was a play on 4th down that they had a slant wide open. And Dave, not only was it wide open, even on the all-22 I checked, there was nobody in front of him. He would have caught that ball and took it for about 70 yards for a touchdown. The quarterback throws it out of the receiver's hands, way too far in front of him. He doesn't get it. Again, another bad throw. I bring that up, and this Delaware fan goes off on Twitter. What was funny was the Delaware fans in the stadiums were saying the same thing to me. Because I was asking, I was like, what is his deal? He can't complete a pass. And they're like, he is having a horrible day and can't complete a pass to save his life. But if there's somebody online that wants to, battle that out and say, hey, he had 300 yards and 1 touchdown, which, by the way, Dave, what was the touchdown? A shovel pass behind the line of scrimmage. So he didn't have a great game. That also speaks to the fact, Dave, that our defense is in trouble. Our defense is in trouble, Dave. We are not playing good.
No. I think it's the biggest surprise right now with this team. I thought our team would have the identity of like playing through the defense, relying on the defense. And man, I don't know. I can't remember offhand, but I think we probably were close to double-digit missed tackles.
Yeah, we were. We were over.
We were over?
I believe so. If I read the right thing, I think I saw. But again, you know how it is, Dave. Sometimes they don't call them missed tackles, even though it looks like a missed tackle. But from what I saw, the one stat I saw, don't know if it was official, was like, I think it's a multiple. I think it's both games is 13 tackles between the 2 games that we've missed. There wasn't that many in game 1, but game 2, there was a lot.
Yeah, and I think like that is the biggest concern I have right now going up against Houston. We'll break that down. There are some favorable plays for you guys to make thanks to Prophet X on this, but yeah, with a team like Delaware coming in their first year, though they've had a great run in FCS, their first year at FBS, they were able to make our defense look silly at so many times. And I want to reference this so I get it right. I mean, it was a 24-point win by the Buffs, man. But I still find it inexcusable to have allowed essentially the same amount of yardage that we had on offense, 396 to Delaware, 398 to Colorado. They averaged, get this, 0.1 yards more than we did per pass. And with rushing, they averaged 2.8 yards rushing. We only averaged 3.3. So it was nice to see us win the time of possession and things like that. But this is a team that I think that there's obviously a lot of conversation about, do we have a quarterback on the roster right now that can make us competitive in the Big 12? That's less of a concern than I have for the defense right now. I think right now, if our defense continues to play the way that they are, it's going to be tough for us to win shootouts right now. And I don't think any of our quarterbacks that we have are really equipped to get us wins in that fashion. I mean, we didn't always do that so well. Sometimes last year when we had to play in shootouts, and the talent that we had over there. So, yeah, tough day for my guy Carter Stoutmeyer. I think he was credited with 4 missed tackles against Delaware. And still some bright spots. I thought Jeremiah Brown, he played really well. It was great to see Martavius French out there again, making some big plays. Shout out to Makari Vickers for being on the field. And I think that this is interesting too. I wonder if, because, man, we've just kind of looked slow in our secondary. It's kind of been DJ McKinney. I think playing up to expectation in my opinion. I think DJ's been great this year so far, but not exactly having the performance from the rest of the secondary I think that we were hoping for. And I find it very interesting that Cam Michael was given a gray jersey, and we're seeing him start to practice and take some snaps over at DB. I think we could really benefit from the speed of Makari Vickers and Cam Michael, because right now it seems like we're being caught a little flat-footed sometimes from our secondary. It's a big concern.
Yeah, and I mean, to be quite honest, there's definitely some changes that need to be made on that side of the ball, especially as we go into Houston. Once we start kind of previewing it, there are some things that Houston does well that we could have issues with on Friday night. But against Delaware, and I said it in my Monday stream. And again, the Delaware fans use it against me in the arguments. But I talked about how our defense was bend but do not break. Like, they're making plays at the opportune moments. I mean, point-wise, it would look good on paper if you're only looking at points, because we're allowing less points than we did last year. We're allowing less than 20 points a game officially. Yardage-wise, we are allowing way, way too many yards per game in the first 2 games. And, that's not going to cut it going forward. That can only help you out so many times. A team is going to make us pay. A team is not going to make mistakes. I mean, look, Dave, through 2 games, we have 5 turnovers to 0. 5-0.
Yeah.
5-0 turnover margin. Okay. Yeah. We should be doing pretty well if that's the case, even with that many yards that we're allowing, just FYI to everybody. But that's not always going to be the case.
Yeah.
We are not going to continue that sort of turnover margin, especially if we're giving up that many yards. We're going to allow some points. We're going to have higher, point margins that we're going to have to keep up with. And like you said, the offense is not going to be able to keep up with that. We are scoring a lot less points offensively than we have in the past. And I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't think anybody on this roster can put us in, like you said, that shootout mentality mode. So that's something we're going to have to look at going forward.
Yeah. I do want to give a few guys some shout outs on offense. Of course, again, I just got to give props to Ryan Staub, dude. I still feel this way. If he doesn't come in, I think we might have lost that game, man. Like, that's how I feel about it. I think he led 3 or 4.
3 touchdowns.
And then didn't they get a field goal in one of them, or no?
No,
that was Caden Salter's drive.
Yeah. So, Caden Salter was in for 10 points.
Yes.
Staub was in for 21 points. That's 31.
Yes.
Oh, so there was a field goal. There was a field goal in there.
But that was from Caden Salter.
Yeah,
that
okay.
Was from Caden Salter. So, yeah, that makes sense. 21 points with Ryan Staub. He was fantastic. It was great to see JoJo Williams get involved.
Yep.
I think he had 4 catches. Sincere Brown, of course, looking like a potential NFL guy right now, which I think is really, really exciting. It would be great to have O back, but I liked what we've really seen from those two, and maybe we see more Quentin Gibson. What do you think right now? This was another disappointing game, sadly, for one of our Buffs box guys, Draylon Miller. Second straight game with another drop. I think he's averaging a yard.
1 a game.
Now.
Drop a game. A drop a game. 2 games, 2 drops.
Yeah. Right now, are you putting Quentin in more over him?
I mean, I think we have other guys. I think, honestly, Hakeem being in there, Joseph Williams being in there, Sincere Brown in there. I mean, heck, Isaiah Harge had 3 catches for 21 yards, Dave. It seems like Isaiah took over for Draylon.
Yeah.
Quentin came in for Juju's drive because I think they have some chemistry going, and Juju did find him on 2 different passes. That was his 2 completions, was to Gibson. I would love to see some more Gibson out of that. I don't know what's going on with Draylon. I really, really do not. He just does not look like the same guy
I wonder
that he
if
was.
he's like hurt. Like he just seems.
That could be the only thing I can think of, because it's not. I mean, he doesn't even look the same player right now at all.
No,
at all.
No.
That's my only thing I could think of. So agreed. Sincere Brown is everything we thought he was going to be. I mean, you and I talked about this in the offseason. We loved getting Sincere Brown. A lot of people were like, oh, he's coming from Campbell. He can't do anything, blah, blah, blah. It's like the tape of the guy is ridiculous. The athletic ability on the guy is ridiculous. They just have to give him an opportunity. And finally, Staub with the opportunity, which, hey, Dave, I mean, shout out to Staub for making those hot routes and sending him on the go. I think that's the biggest reason that I think Staub should probably be the quarterback, is if he's the only one willing to make those calls, then we have to have a guy who's willing to do that and make those changes on the fly. So that's where it's at there. Defensively, I wanted another shout out. Somebody shouted out earlier, Dave, and I have a really cool story, but Alex McPherson with the punt block, making a play. Interestingly enough, Dave, I get to my seats in the stadium, and this older gentleman comes running over to me. I mean, sprinting across the bleachers, and he's like, I love your stuff. I love your show.
Oh, that's exciting.
And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. He's like, yeah, I'm Al McPherson. I'm Alex McPherson's dad. I love what you guys do. I love your show. I love when you're on with Dave. So Al, if you're watching, we appreciate you. We appreciate your son. Got to chat with him the whole pregame warm-up because his son, the defensive line was warming up in our corner. So that's why he was over there. That's where he sets up each game. He's moved up to Colorado. So he's here every single game. He told me growing up that they went to Colorado constantly. So when Colorado offered Alex, that was probably a big reason why he wanted to commit here. He just loves the state, loves everything about it. Obviously loves his defensive line room. He told me, some stories I won't go into because I'm not going to share private information about, recruiting and how that was behind the scenes and what it was like and who was there and who talked to him and all that stuff. And it was very interesting to hear that side of it because, we always ask, is Warren Sapp recruiting? Is Coach Prime going to people's houses? And, he just said, I appreciated the fact that Coach Prime doesn't, bull crap you when he talks to you. And, it's not about flashiness and showing up to your house and doing all that. It's like, hey, if you're interested in us, come here, see what we've got to do, see what we have going on. And they like that. And there will be people that like that. So it was really cool getting to talk to him. Loved it. Told him love his kid. Think that he is going to have a bright future with this team with just how hard he works and what he does. And so, yeah, really, really excited that he went on to the game and got that punt block for the Buffs in that opportune moment.
Dude, and I feel like he already looks so much bigger than when he got to.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's already got that college defensive lineman body, man. And I just want to give a shout out. I think Gennaro had a chat in here earlier that said special teams second straight week that they were the best unit. They were fantastic. Damon Greaves is looking like an all Big 12 punter.
We've got the best punter in the country right now. Statistically, I mean, the kid is over half his punts are going inside the 20, 260-yard plus punts, Dave. Like the Broncos could use Damon Greaves at this point because we just can't get, it seems like, that long of punts. And here comes Damon Greaves, and he just I will say, I have never heard on a punt in a stadium an audible gasp from everyone in the stadium. Dave, I'm telling you, by the way, the 64-yarder that he just absolutely crushed, not only was it 64 yards long, that thing had some hang time on it. You don't see that on the TV. I'm telling you guys, he absolutely crushed that ball. Okay? Absolutely crushed that ball. I don't think we give that enough credits. But absolutely love the fact that, Dave, we've got special teams. I mean, Buck Buchanan, still perfect from touchbacks. I don't think he's going to not kick a touchback even when we go down to sea level, because he's kicking them out of the end zone at altitude. So unless somebody's returning him from the end zone, he's kicking it through. And then Mata's still perfect. That's who Mata is.
Yeah, fantastic performance from all of our specialists. I gotta say, like, man, I love getting excited to watch special teams, man. It's never ideal when we got a punt, but I gotta say, man, I have loved watching it. I've loved watching these kickoffs go through the end zone. It's been beautiful, and I'm just so happy. So hey, shout out to Coach Prime, and why am I forgetting the name of our special teams coach now randomly, like I always do? But
it's the guy from the whistle.
Anyways, he's doing a great job. You know who you are. You don't do it for the recognition on these internet shows. So yeah, he's doing a great job. I wanted to also, is it cool if we talk about our running backs a little bit? I know we're
I really wanted to, Dave, because that was another thing that got brought up by those Delaware fans. They're like, between your defense sucking and the fact that we completely dominated you guys defensively, so you couldn't run on us. And I said, what are you talking about? We had our two top runners who had the most attempts average over 6 yards a carry, Dave.
Kalen Taylor was at 6.9. So
on 7 carries. It wasn't like it was 1 carry. It was 7 carries. Simeon Price, 9 carries for 6 yards a pop, Dave. Like, what is going on? Like, yes, we still didn't run the ball that much, and yet we still ended up with a pretty good performance. Yes, the quarterbacks are going to ruin that because Julian Lewis had negative 3.5 yards per carry. Draylon had 1 carry for 3, and then Ryan Staub had minus 1 yard per carry. Like, I don't know what else you want. Our top running backs absolutely performed.
Yes. And yeah, they carried this offense, man. And of course, Ryan Staub made the plays when needed, but DeKalen Taylor and Simeon Price were fantastic. Of course, DeKalen Taylor almost had 100 all-purpose yards together.
Yep.
Of course, that big-time receiving touchdown, but man, Simeon Price looked great. I know we might get Dallin Hayden back on Friday, which is exciting. I want as many healthy players as possible, but I think, right now you just run with the hot hand, man. I'm just loyal. I'm loyal to the guys that are performing. And then if they, find a tough series or two, you can go and see what Welsh can do, or Hayden, or one of these other guys. But I think we got a good 1-2 punch right now, and I think we're going to have to rely on them quite a bit. One kind of disappointing thing, and this is kind of opening up a larger conversation. We don't necessarily have to go down this route, but with Pat Shurmur, I think it's just clear that this guy does not know how to call an offense for a dual threat quarterback. Because Caden Salter, what do you have? 24 rushing yards on the game, but I think his big 20-ish yard touchdown run, if I'm remembering, that wasn't a designed run call or anything like that. It's just very clear that there is the operation, whatever's going on with the play call. Everything looks better with Ryan Staub right now. And I made Pat Shurmur look a little bit better right now, but right now it just doesn't seem to be a great fit with calling the offense towards Caden's strengths, which I don't think we've done.
We talked about this. I mean, Shedeur Sanders is your quintessential pocket passer. It's why it worked to an extent with Pat Shurmur, right? Caden Salter, dual threat. You're putting some other plays in there. It just does not seem like that works. Staub comes in, and it looks more like a pro-style offense out there, and it was successful. And on top of that, you have to question, how much does Caden Salter know or understand of the playbook to not, make changes, to not make reads, where Staub's going in there as the third stringer and calling hot routes? I'm sorry, but in normal, football world, your third stringer is not going in and calling his shots. Let's be honest, Dave. Normal teams, that's not going to happen. Your starter should be the one doing that easily, and it's flipped on us. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the case. The part that I'll completely agree with you, Dave, that I saw from that game, that first drive, it worked out, right? It was dink and dunk down the field. The screens were working, by the way. You watched all 22. You watched the swing passes. They were going for 7-10 yards a pop each time. It's what I realized from the Georgia Tech game, too. It started to work. But then once the team sucked in and started playing those screens, That's when you shoot upfield like Ryan Staub did. And I was shocked that we weren't doing that naturally once Delaware and Georgia Tech both started creeping up to the line of scrimmage. You draw them in, and then you shoot over the top. We didn't do that once against Georgia Tech, and look what happens against Delaware when we shoot those shots down the field. So either one of two things. Yeah, either Pat can't just call a game, can't figure this thing out, and can't, be able to say, okay, now's our time to take a shot or a couple shots.
Like 15 years,
yeah. Or you need a quarterback who can, who understands the offense, understands when he needs to make changes. And that right now, unfortunately, is probably Ryan Staub. Will Julian Lewis eventually be that? Yes. Could he be that if we wanted to just say, hey, we're riding Julian Lewis and we're going to ride through the rough patch? Yeah, I'd say maybe by game 3, 4, 5, we'd probably look a little bit better or similar to Staub with Julian Lewis. But can we afford to lose those games on the way there? Probably not. So I would agree with that, and I don't know what's going on with Shermer. It's so many people want to watch the tape. I watched the tape. I'm sorry, the way the plays are being drawn up, the way that we're doing things, what we're calling in certain situations, it just doesn't make sense. And there's plenty of pro football players out there that are calling him out. Who is the guy? Somebody called him out. NFL player called out Pat Shermer on Twitter. Somebody in the chat will have to throw it out there because I've been talking with some people online about it, because he just straight up said that Pat Shermer has no idea what he's doing as far as calling plays and has no idea how to put a game plan together. And I think that's absolutely what's happening.
Yeah. I think right now, again, we don't have the best play caller right now. And so it's almost like you got to do what you can to make sure that you're just getting the most continuity as possible between play caller, quarterback, and the offense. Again, there's other things we could do schematically, I think, to highlight Caden's strengths. I think, again, though, to his part, he hasn't done, I think, what also, like, the expectation from Pat Shermer and this coaching staff has made it to where he would be making these reads correctly in checks. But I do think, Russ, that we'll see him against Houston. This might be a hot take, but I would still like to see certain packages with Kaidon Salter in there, particularly in the red zone at times. It doesn't necessarily need to be like every play after we get into the red zone, but again, like, he can run the football. He can do some things that Ryan Staub can't. And again, it's difficult when we're talking about how would you do a 2-quarterback system when Kaidon Salter's your main guy and then Julian Lewis is kind of the guy coming in for like 10 or 20% of the snaps. But you can kind of do this quarterback by committee thing a little bit easier when the second quarterback is a runner, and maybe limiting or narrowing his role a little bit, you might get better play from him on those plays. I don't think this is the end of Kaidon Salter, and I do think, to answer Carolyn's question, I think Salter had a good game. Staub had a great game. That's really what it was.
Exactly. I mean, because everybody will say, like, oh, Salter wasn't that bad. Like, no, he wasn't. But it was more of the same that we saw against Georgia Tech, and that didn't lead us to victory there. And I was being honest last week. Like, I didn't think Salter was horrible against Georgia Tech. I think he missed some things. I think he was thinking too much. What was it the RG3 said about Kaidon Salter was he needs to play football, not play quarterback. And by that, he just needs to play his game and not be thinking like, well, I need to pass the ball. I need to, look like the prototypical quarterback. So when, Staub comes in and just plays football and plays to his strength and plays what he has, like, things look great. It was where the Buffaloes roam. Asante Samuel did a whole video on Pat Shermer and why he's just a terrible play caller in what he's been doing. So that's where it's at. Dave, I'm going to be interested to see how we split it up. I do think that I have it under very good authority that Staub is starting Friday night, even if Coach Prime wants to be all cagey
he
about it.
Absolutely should. Yeah, it's very clear. He's pretty much said it.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why Prime is being all, against the media and angry about it, but yeah, there is pretty good knowledge that Staub is your official QB1 heading into Friday. Now, again, like you said, will Salter play? Yes, Salter will play. But we need the ability to have explosive plays. And I think Staub is the only one that's going to get us those explosive plays. Let's run a pro style offense, Dave. Let's run the ball like normal. Let's use play action. Let's do Staub. Let's screw the quarterback, option at this point and play a pro style offense with the receivers that we have, with the tight ends we have, Dave. With the tight ends we have. Can we get them more involved? Like Zach Atkins, 1 catch on Friday. Like, watching him, he looked good. He was open at times. He was doing the things he needed to do. His blocking is decent. But, we got to see something completely different.
Totally, man. Hey, you got $10 coming your way from
East Coast Kev.
Yeah. Saying, hey, it's very aggravating that people want Shermer gone when the defense has given up 400 yards 2 weeks in a row, this time to a backup quarterback. Yeah, backup. Yeah, I understand.
Man, he's the starting quarterback for Delaware. He started last year. He started this year.
This defense can't stop a nosebleed. Yeah, Kev, I feel like we opened up talking about how, this is really our biggest disappointment so far in the season. And we have to play better against Houston. We cannot win shootouts. I don't care who's at quarterback. We're not built for that.
No, absolutely, we need to fix the defense, is what we're trying to say. Yes, we're talking about the offense, and everybody's talking quarterbacks, and everybody's talking about the OC, because that's the sexy thing to talk about. The fact is the defense needs to be a hell of a lot better, and I don't know what happened from game 1 to game 2. I get game 1. Yes, we allowed a lot of yards, but at least we could say in game 1, they did better tackling. Yeah. This game was absolutely atrocious. This was up there with the Kansas game, where we couldn't tackle anyone to save our lives. This game could have been, 0 points allowed if we just tackle when we first hit their players. They weren't making that many quote unquote explosive plays. This is going to get clipped by a Delaware fan, I'm sure, because if you go back to all their explosive plays, it started with something short. We missed a tackle. We missed a second tackle. Maybe we missed a third tackle, and their guys down the field. Luckily, we got a guy like Ben Finiseth who decides to run 60 yards down the field and knock the ball out at the 5-yard line. That's a great play by him, and I'm happy he did it. But, man, can we just learn to tackle in the first place? That is absolutely insane things. The coverage has been kind of poor. I haven't loved what R.J. Johnson has done, even though he's got the interception. Yeah. He's had tackling issues as well, Dave, from his spot. Parks also having issues there at times. It looks like, by the way, we can talk about this going into the Houston game. We have the injury report, which is very fascinating for both teams, because now we get that each week, Dave, going into Big 12 play. So that'll be something we'll have to discuss. But yeah, East Coast Kev, trust me, defense needs some serious changes to their play style. Now, here's the thing. I don't think it's Robert Livingston's fault 100%. Okay? Tackling is a mentality. They got to figure that stuff out. I think he's putting the players in the right spot. I'll be honest, Dave, and you tell me if you agree. I think that skill-wise, we just didn't get what we needed to this portal season when it came to the defensive side of the ball. We missed out on a lot of players that we tried to get, and we kind of got some scraps when it came to that. We thought they might be able to fill in. They're starting to show their issues just a little bit at different spots. Not all of them, because there are some really good ones in there, but there's a few that are starting to show that maybe they weren't who we thought they were.
Well, they better develop quickly, man. Yeah, because, you just can't argue it right now. They just haven't been getting the job done. I think Tyrekus Davis has been hurt. I don't think we saw him in this past game. Want to go ahead very quickly. Well, in just a moment, Russ, we'll talk about our sponsors here, Taco Bell and ProfitX, helping out my channel as well. But curious, is Byron Leftwich, is he still – was this just a summer fall camp thing that he was doing? I'm not necessarily sure if he is on staff right now.
So 2 things. CU never officially put out a press release with him on staff. I don't think he is officially on contract with the team. I was looking through CU's contracts. I didn't really see anything that stood out for that. So my guess is it was kind of like a handshake agreement of he'll be here as much as he can.
Okay.
Someone else put in the chat that he might be having some family issues right now that he's taking care of, things like that. There's a reason he's not the OC or not like an assistant coach and isn't listed on the website as such. I think it's, a helping hand thing. Do what you can, which, by the way, Prime has done that several times throughout his career as a coach. He brings in these guys who have high-level talent as analysts. They help out in different things. Now, if they become a more full-time part of the staff, great. If not, it gives them that flexibility to then say, hey, I'll come when I can and do what I can. And I'm sure they're still talking on the phone with the different quarterbacks and all that. So I definitely think he's still part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's probably good news for Pat Bubble Screens Shermer, or Pat Bubble Shermer here as Jesus walks. Man, it cracks me up. So I think, again, like if probably right now, if Prime were to ever make a change later on in the season, if it's just not getting done, you probably have Brett Bartolone be that guy. But I think right now, man, Pat Shermer, he's got a nice leash. I think without Byron Leftwich there full time, and yeah, he could be working in a remote capacity as well as an analyst.
Yeah,
even if he's not in Boulder, as some of you guys are pointing out in the comments. But Russ, we got to get to the sponsors of this show, man. Why don't you tell us about the amazing Buffs box?
Okay, everybody, you've already heard it. You know it. If you're not, you haven't heard it yet, okay? You come to Boulder to come to a football game. The first stop you're making when you get into Colorado is to your local Taco Bell to get your Buff box, $7. Unbelievable amount of food, by the way. I don't know very many people that can finish an entire Buffs box in one sitting, okay? I heard from a family, Dave, they fed a family of 4 for $20. Using the Buff box, baby. Economy. Okay, in this economy, if you need to feed a large family, you're coming to a CU game, you're already spending a ton of money, Taco Bell's got you with the Buff box. Get your collectible cups, of course. Hey, the franchise, okay? He is the cup you want.
Yes.
Nobody can beat Jordan Seaton. And as always, Taco Bell is going to be donating $1,000 per touchdown to CU Athletics for scholarship fund. They've already donated. They announced it at the game, $12,000. Also, Taco Bell is throwing out T-shirts at the football games. And guess what, guys? You can win one of those T-shirts Mondays if you tune into the show, because we give away a T-shirt each week to the best call of the week. The best call of the week. And yesterday, Monday, Tez won the call of the week, Dave. You're going to have to call in, Dave, to try and get to be the caller of the week to win a T-shirt.
Oh, man. Well, if I win caller of the week, I get to choose which caller it goes. Thanks for Taco Bell sending us out some of this merch, man. It's fantastic. This has definitely been such a fun partnership, and I hope it lasts for many moons to come. We start taking this thing nationwide. So thank you so much, Colorado area Taco Bell's supporting the show. Also, we'll just get right into it, and then we can kind of get into Houston. Want to give a special shout out to the flagship sponsor of David Talks Buffs. Again, Russ, thank you for being so generous to allow me to read this on our co-stream. But it is Profit X, America's #1 sports prediction market. It's peer-to-peer, guys, not the sports book versus the house. So this guarantees that you almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, player prop, whatever, any play you're looking to make. They're available in over 40 states, including Colorado, including Texas, where I currently reside. So use my promo code Dave and claim up to $200 in profit cash. Link is in the description on all plays for your first 30 days at the site. And right now, Russ, I just got to show you what my plays.
Oh, I'm ready for this, Dave. I'm ready. What am I going for? I went 50-50 last weekend with some of your picks.
Well, I barely lost my play on 24.5. with the Buffs. That was a tough one.
I got your Bronco play. Though.
The Bronco at -8, that hit, baby.
Yep.
That hit. So, yeah, guys, just playing with a little bit of profit cash. But this is what I got going on this week. Broncos -2.5 plus 110. You're not going to find that anywhere, guys. Right now on normal sports books, it's like -100, -110. Check out this spread that we got right now for Colorado Buffaloes. It's an alternate spread because I think right now we're -4.5.
-6 when I went into Profit X, it was -6.
Oh man. Well, it's changed to -4.5 now when I was on here like right before the show. And it seems like Vegas has adjusted it as well on these sports books to like -4.5, -5. But yeah, -6 would have been real nice if that would have stayed. And you can still get it. But I took Buffs +3.5. Let's go get a nice win on the road here at +109. And then I think I don't trust either of these defenses, man. Houston has played a bad Stephen F. Austin team. They played Rice. They have not faced like a real offense. I could see this becoming a shootout, especially if our guys can't tackle at the second level. They don't even need to throw downfield at us right now, Russ, because they know we can't tackle. They don't. So anyways, I got the over on this at +100. The over on 40 points even, okay? And I think right now traditional sports books got this at like 44.5. So taking a little bit of a risk there, but that should be fun. Again, those are my plays. Shout out to Profit X for sponsoring David Talks Buffs. I love you guys so much. First thoughts on Houston, Russ. Give it to me.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I've been trying to pay attention to Houston a little bit. By the way, we tried to get somebody from Houston on the show. I just don't think that they exist. I don't know if they don't have a YouTube channel. I don't know. Like, I'm literally not kidding. I just searched all over YouTube, Twitter for Houston fans. Nobody really popped up. So the content creation over in Houston is a little bit dry. So we couldn't get anybody on to give you guys the Houston perspective of it. But from what I've seen, one thing I will notice, Dave, by the way, Houston's offense struggled on Saturday against Rice. They struggled. It was 3-0 until just a couple minutes left in the half, Rice winning. Then Houston got a big touchdown, by the way, from their third string running back. That's right, third string. They have some depth problems when it comes to the running back. He kicks off a long touchdown run. And then, by the way, he does another long touchdown run in the fourth quarter. Houston started to roll in the second half, started to look a little better. But what I will say, Dave, Houston's offensive line, a little bit poor. They are allowing a decent amount of sacks, a lot of pressure on Connor Wegman. And Connor Wegman is not really a run-first quarterback like we've seen so far the first 2 weeks. He's pretty slow, if I'm being honest, okay? Nothing against him. I think he's a good quarterback. But he is a pure passing quarterback, okay? Yeah. Pure passing quarterback. That is absolutely what it looks like. So the defense is going to have a chance this week, okay, Dave? The defense is going to have a chance this week. I swear to God, Dave, if we allow 400-plus yards again, this season is in deep, deep trouble, okay? This season is in deep, deep trouble because at least on the ground, we shouldn't be allowing large amounts of yards against Houston. And if we do, like I said, we are in deep, deep, deep trouble. Defensively, Houston, little bit more effective. That's probably where they kind of have played their best so far these two games. But like you said, playing their Texas opponent the first game, playing Rice the second game, you don't know what they truly have there. So I could very well see, this is a great game for CU's offense to break out, and it has to be the game that we break out. And this needs to be the game that we finally see a 100-yard rusher. I want to see a 100-yard rusher, Dave. I want to see it. Okay? I want to see it. Please, for the love of God, can we get 100 yards by one guy? I don't care who it is.
Please. Yeah. Is Hankerson the last guy to do that for us? We need to break that sad streak or drought we have going on right now. But yeah, Connor Wegman, man, I feel like he's been around college football for forever now. And Yeah, started out at Texas A&M. If you guys know anything about me, hate Texas A&M. So, yeah, we must win this game. We got to stick it to these former Aggies. But yeah, this is a team I don't think that has had very tough tests right now. I think one thing going in our favor is that we do have that Georgia Tech game under our belt where we did face a very physical team, and I thought we like rose up to the challenge for the most part. Again, you don't want to give up 320 rushing yards, but man, like we made them feel our presence, man. I saw that Haynes King hasn't played since. He hasn't played since that game, man, because he took some shots when he was standing back there in the pocket when he was running it. And I'm hoping, I think a big key to the game right now is for us to definitely, obviously, we got to be the more physical team. We have to be the ones pushing the pace, winning the line of scrimmage, making things uncomfortable for Connor Wigman. And again, this sounds kind of strange, but they have not faced a team like us yet, even though clearly our team has some flaws right now. But I think that, again, going up against Georgia Tech, having a victory, but it was a strange victory where we didn't play to our level of expectation. Hopefully we're able to lock in, get on the road and lock in. And I think, again, with having Ryan Staub there, it's a clear chain of command. We know who our leader is on offense. I think we're just going to see the whole operation and team play better. That's just my hope. We saw them play better when Staub was that guy this past game.
Yeah, so I want to go through, Dave, the injury reports for both teams just to give us an idea of what we've got going on. And here's where things also kind of swing in CU's favor. So Houston out. Running back, Rashawn Sanford. Running back, Jamarion Burnett. That is their top two running backs, by the way. Or at least they were the top two running backs heading into the season. You know, this other running back had a great showing against Rice, but maybe that was just him playing against Rice. Wide receiver, Anthony Ganji. Wide receiver, Samuel Padgett. And defensive lineman, Quindario Lee. By the way, all of those guys play. All of those guys play. That defensive lineman, Quindario Lee, that is one of their starting defensive linemen, Dave. So they are missing a lot of important players for this game already ruled out. And then you look at the questionable, you got another wide receiver on that list. By the way, they're probable. You got another wide receiver. 4 wide receivers are injured, with 3 probably not playing and one of them coming in hurt. Okay, the wide receiver core for Houston is depleted. The running back room is depleted. And then they're missing one of their better defensive linemen. Now, if we switch it to CU's side, for the most part on that list, outside of Sam Okunlola and Omarion Miller, okay, everybody else are not starters when it comes to the out, doubtful, and questionable. Okay, but Dave, you can also see why they might be putting Cam Michael back at DB, because Terrence Love is out for another week. That's 2 weeks in a row. And TJ Branch is also doubtful. So if anybody's been wondering why TJ Branch hasn't gone in for Carter Stoutmire, it's because he is battling some injuries. Okay, guys? I'm sure Coach Prime would love to get TJ Branch some game time. So we are down 2 safeties, with Tafiq Byard also battling an injury. That's 3 safeties down. So your only choices at that point, Dave, are Carter Stoutmire and Ben Finnisseth at safety. So yes, moving Cam Michael to play a little bit safety is probably the best play Colorado has to get them a little bit of depth just in case one of those guys go down on that game. Okay. So Keon Parks also out, Dave. So he's not starting. That means, are we going to see Tyrekus Davis a little bit more of this game? Or is Makari Vickers going to be the main guy there? Ooh. What does that look like? Who knows? Phillip Houston, offensive line. Kareem Harden is probably out. And Sam Okunlola out again, as well as Gabriel Lightfoot. So our defensive line takes a little bit of a hit there. But overall, looking at this, I know CU's list is longer. Most of the guys that are out are depth players. Kyle Carpenter. No. Charlie Williams. No. Walker Anderson. Like, these guys are not guys that play anyway. Versus Houston has quite a bit, especially at the wide receiver spot, whereas Colorado has a very, very, very deep wide receiver room. So looking at this, Dave, what most jumps out to you? What are you thinking now as we head into this Houston game on Friday?
Dude, I hope Simeon Price is good to go. You see, he's questionable right now. That's probably the biggest thing. I feel like has Omari Miller already kind of been, it's expected that he's not going to play, right?
Well, Prime said he's not. Prime said
Okay.
out of Dallin Hayden and Dallin Hayden is the closer one to playing. Still a ways away, which is why I was surprised he showed up on questionable. I figured he would have been doubtful based on what Coach Prime said. But it sounds like Omari Miller's definitely out. Dallin Hayden may come in. No word on Simeon Price from him, so I'm going to assume Simeon Price is playing. I don't know when he picked that injury up. I don't know if it was during practice or the game. If it was the game, I would hope he's playing. But if it was in practice, who knows? That could have been more of a recent development. By the way, we do get an updated injury report as the game gets closer. Okay. So if anybody else gets elevated to out or doubtful, we'll see that. If anybody gets added to the list, we'll see that through practice injuries. But that's what we've got to go as far as that goes. But Dallin, it looks like, is going to be playing based on what Prime said. And looks like based on what Falk said, Dallin should be getting some play time. The good news is, Dave, we've got 4 capable running backs. Do we have to force Dallin down our throats with him partially injured? No. Let's see how he looks. Let's not push it.
The one thing that I'm a little probably worried about, even though Houston has all these wide receivers out, is that their leading receiver, I don't know if you remember this guy.
Yes.
Total, Ball State
Kazoil.
Tight end transfer, Brandon Kozoil.
Our number one transfer target.
Yeah, this guy, he's their top receiver. He's averaging close to 9 yards a reception. The man is 6'7". Maybe Makari Vickers is going to be that guy. I think he's a little bit taller than Preston Hodge, but I really don't know. We've had trouble covering tight ends in the past.
Everybody does. Yeah, everybody does. No team can cover tight ends.
Tight end that can get down the field. He's definitely going to have to be somebody that Rob Livingston is keying in on in terms of just making sure that they're stopping. Because we can't allow ourselves to, with all these guys out, to then go ahead and get dominated by Brandon Kozoil. He's got 13 receptions, 115 yards, a touchdown, averaging 8.8 yards a reception. So I think they're going to run the ball. I think they're going to throw it to Brandon Kozoil a lot. And let's just hope our defensive front is ready to stop the run. We got to put the ball in Connor Weigman's hands to make plays, man. We got to make them one-dimensional. This is simple stuff.
Yeah. I mean, tight ends are just a cheat code. If you can get a good tight end with good size, all of that, there's not many people out there that can cover a tight end. So we're gonna have to figure something out. I'm hoping that the team is figuring out their game plan against Kozoil.
I keep calling him Brandon. Sorry,
Tanner Kozoil. I just know him by Kozoil. I did not pay attention, but yes. And he was somebody, by the way, I was hammering the drum for the tight end Kozoil to come to Colorado. Was very surprised when he ended up at Houston. But that is going to be their main playmaker. Okay, it's Weigman, Kozoil. Outside of that, they're a little thin. But can a guy break through? Yes. Can a guy break through? Absolutely. And with the way our defense has been playing, let's hope that there is an absolute turnaround the defensive side of the ball, Dave. Yeah. An absolute turnaround, because we're going to get hit hard if we don't play better on the defensive side of the ball.
This is a team, they have played through the run. Right now in offense, they're averaging 170 yards of passing a game, close to 200 yards rushing a game. So, again, this is simple, stuff you hear every week about keys to victory. It's going to be, stopping the run. We have to do that. And we cannot allow ourselves to give up like 300 yards of offense or on the ground to Houston, man. Like we did Georgia Tech.
And like I said, with Houston's depth at running back, outside of Dean Connors, who's the guy that went off for Houston against Rice. And by the way, Dave, he went off on 2 runs. Okay, 2 massive runs that gave him most of your yards. Again, that's why stats are kind of deceiving sometimes when you look at them. You look at it and say, "Oh, they have 400 yards rushing through 2 games, right?" Except here's the problem. Okay, Dean Connors 182 yards, and that was against Rice. He had 2, I'm telling you, long touchdown runs against, by the way, his old team. He is a transfer from Rice, so he had a little bit of extra juice in his step for that game, okay? But they ran behind him all game long. Like, he was their offense against Rice. And Rice did not look very good, if I'm being honest, Dave, when it came to their defensive line, but I wonder why. Outside of that, their second leading rusher, Dave, Connor Wegman at 59 yards. 59 yards.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm telling you guys, this is our chance to stop the run. And I swear, if Houston runs over us, we're in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble this season, Dave, if we can't stop Houston's run game.
Dude, I love this guy, Dean Connors, man. A white running back named Dean Connors from Hawaii. Doesn't get any more college football than that.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, we stop him, we win. It's as simple as that. Stop Dean Connors, and we win, baby. That's really what this game.
Yeah, and outside of Tanner Kazoil, who, by the way, has 115 yards in 2 games, the next closest receiver is 70 yards. The next closest receiver is 60 yards. Like, for the matchups that Houston had, by the way, Dave, they're not throwing up or putting up a lot of yards. They're not putting up a ton of yards like you would expect against those 2 opponents. So
Dean is at the cookouts, man.
Dean be at the cookouts, man. Hey,
mustache, dude. I'm a fan of Dean Connors, man.
Hey,
we're just not going to be a fan of him on Friday night.
I guarantee you that Dean Connors was at a lot of cookouts this weekend in Houston after his performance against
Are you
Rice.
kidding me?
Yeah. Yes. So Dean Connors, Tanner Kazoil, those are the guys you got to watch when it comes to their offense. We got to stop them. So, he's a big boy, by the way. And what's crazy, Dave, like, you need to go watch those 2 runs he had against Rice. Like, the dude is like deceptively fast. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know, again, if it was just a little extra oomph because he was playing Rice, his old team, but that dude looked slow and then all of a sudden just took off. He had good like top speed, not great acceleration, but top speed once he got there, nobody was catching him.
Dude, yeah, he's just pointing this out, man. 6 feet, only 206 pounds, man. That's kind of a crazy build for a running back. Normally the guys that are like 6 foot, dude, they're like 220, 230.
He'd be a good receiver.
Like man. Yeah. I'm like, man, this guy ain't much bigger than me. Shout out to everybody over 6 feet. Let's go. All right. So shall we get into like our things that keys to the game, players we need to break out, because we feel like we've already kind of talked about our keys to the game.
Yeah, no. Let's you want to just go into impact players who are looking to break out for Colorado? I want to hear from you, Dave. Who do you have breaking out for Colorado?
Let's get the obvious out of the way, dude. Freaking Ryan Staub, baby. This guy's gonna look like the franchise quarterback. That's right. He knows what to do with the football before he takes the snap. It's such an important quality to have, and it's not talked about enough. Cerebrally, he's ready for this. He's built for it. When you come in cold after just doing stuff on the scout team and you're leading a 40-second drive at the end of the first half to put your team up, man, more beautiful, man. He's built for the moment. I'm all aboard the Ryan Staub train, and if you're not, say it right now. You got hate in your heart, man, because we all saw what we saw against Delaware, man. This guy deserves this opportunity to start this week against Houston. Let's see if he can capitalize on it. And we need him to throw the ball vertically downfield if this offense is going to have a chance. I think that it's very clear that we need somebody who can pass the ball confidently downfield. He can do that. Then that'll keep teams from stacking the box against us in the run. So Ryan Staub, I ain't going to make a prediction on his stat line, but I will say I'm pretty confident he will complete over 65% of his passes. He was around 70%, I think, this past weekend. He'll be efficient, and I expect him to take care of the ball.
Love it. Love it. On offense, for me, my impact player, I'm going to call it now. After last Saturday, I'm going to say Simeon Price, and he breaks the 100-yard kind of curse that we have for Colorado. So I think Simeon Price gets 100 yards for Colorado this game, and finally breaks that. And I think he helps Ryan Staub and the offense do what they need to do.
Beautiful. Okay. And of course, I want to highlight Sincere Brown, man. I think right now he has identified himself as the alpha in the receiving room until Omari Miller hopefully can heal from this hamstring injury he has. But we need another 100 yards from Sincere. We need another touchdown from him. I think if we're going to win this game, man. So give me Sincere Brown as being a key player in this matchup. Got any more on offense, or you want to get over to defense?
I'm ready for defense, Dave. I want to hear who you got on the defensive side of the ball, because there's a lot of players now on the defensive side of the ball. It seems like everybody plays defense now, and be very interested to hear what you have to say.
Oh man, there's a lot of guys to throw out there. I think, I'll start with kind of an unsung guy who's kind of flown under the radar. I don't think he registered a sack last week, but he was in there consistently causing chaos for Delaware, and that was London Merritt, man. I think he is going to have a standout game, and yeah, put him down right now for a sack, baby.
Okay, London Merritt with the sack. Just so you know, Dave, no sacks just yet. No sacks just yet. He's got 2 solo tackles so far, and it looks like the guys with sacks, which, by the way, we only have 2 sacks this year. Keaton Wade with 1 sack. And who has the other? Oh, Martavius French with the other. That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball. This one's a tough one with everything going on. I'm going to go with who I think it has to be, just simply because, they're going to be matched up potentially against the tight end. I'm going to go with Preston Hodge. I think they'll put him on the tight end. I think he needs to have a big game if he is on the tight end. So I'm hoping that, that happens. Just FYI, somebody said, or D-Nice, Wiggins has a sack too. They didn't officially give it to him, just FYI. I'm looking at the official stats. The official stats have 2 sacks for the team, 1 for Martavius French. What happens, Dave, the problem is if it's a running quarterback, if it's considered a run play, I don't think they give it as a sack, but I may be wrong. That may be NFL only.
Dude, my guy's going to have to go get his first sack of his career, man. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. But like I said, I'm just looking at one of the stat sites. I can keep looking.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. But that's who I'm at. I'm a Preston Hodge. So
okay, dude, Jeremiah Brown. We all know right now Martavius French is him. I think he's had a fantastic start to his CU career. But Jeremiah Brown, another guy who's been in the program now for his 3rd year, and is this his 5th year with Coach Prime? I'm trying to think. We need another very good game from Jeremiah Brown, where he's up there as one of the leading tacklers on this team. Again, we got to stop this guy named Dean Connors, 6 feet, 206 pounds from Hawaii, white running back. What? We need Jeremiah Martavius French to shut this guy down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, Dave. I think, my last impact player that I think will make a difference, by the way, Dave.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do this because it's leading into my prediction for the game. I'm going to have one of my game balls / impact players be Alejandro Mata.
Beautiful.
He's going to stay perfect. And I have him, Dave, by the way, kicking the game-winning field goal. Little tease.
Okay.
Little tease. Game-winning field goal by Mata.
Okay, beautiful. Well, yeah, we need Damon Greaves to do his thing, no doubt about it as well. So, shall we get into our score prediction? Russ, what you got?
Well, Dave, I gotta keep believing in the Buffs, okay? I don't care what anybody says. You can call me a homer, you can call me whatever. I do think, however, this is going to be a very close, tight game, okay? Both teams are not where they need to be. Both teams, Houston is kind of on the rebuild. Colorado is kind of retooling. We don't know what's happening per se. There's so many different opportunities of players rotating, and obviously we don't know the quarterback situation, truthfully. But I do think that Colorado's defense will continue its bend but do not break mentality, which will not allow a ton of points. It will allow some points. It's going to allow a decent amount of yards overall. Now, I'm going to crash out if we allow 300 rushing yards to Houston or 400 yards passing, okay? I just mean maybe 300 yards total between the two or 400 yards total between the two. That might be more doable. But overall, I think Colorado will come out victorious. I do think it's going to be a close game. I think it is going to come down to a field goal. That's why I would hit the Profit X on the CU game if I were you, even at Dave's amount. I got it at -5. So I believe the final score of the game will be Colorado 27, Houston 24. That's it. Lock it in.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. All right. I got us winning by a touchdown. I don't trust this defense yet. I just don't. I need to see it. I don't care if they got Dean Connors, man. I gotta see it before I believe it. The
Terminator.
Hopefully we can just limit Dean Connors, instead of him just obliterating us, right? So, hey, but now it's Staub's time, baby. I feel good about this offense. I feel good about this offense. I've said that, man. We're not built to beat shootouts or to win shootouts, but guys, this is a shootout against Houston. That's different. It's different. Give me the Buffs 34, Houston 27, man. So we hit the over, score a lot of points. We also give up a lot of points, but we get the victory by 7, baby. That's how I feel about this game, man. I think there's going to be some scoring, and again, we'll kind of enter this going up against Wyoming, saying, do we need to treat this as preseason part 2 for everybody on defense?
Yeah, I see a lot of people in the chat being like, if it's going to be this close for game, what's the point? Like, the problem isn't our offense. Like, D-Nice, the problem isn't our offense. The problem is our defense right now. Our defense is not doing a great job of limiting offenses. They are not doing a great job limiting offenses. So it's more about CU's offense. I think it's going to be perfectly fine this game, but I think Houston's going to be able to match them a little bit. So that's why I have the 3-point victory. And I know some people are really wanted to hammer a much bigger score. I would love it. I would love it, Dave. I'd love it not to think about a close game and be, biting my nails the whole time, but I think it will be close. I've got to be respectful of Houston at this point.
Mm-hmm. Hey, they're 2-0. They're probably feeling themselves a bit. They're going to come into this game confident, but who needs to be more confident is Debbie. She's going to be in the U of H student section.
I will pray for you, Debbie.
You know what? You need to come with those transfer applications to start giving it out to everybody in that student section and start transferring out to CU after we get this dub. You absolutely need to bring some transfer applications.
Yeah, pull them out of your purse, pull them out of your bag, whatever you got, and start passing them around. If Colorado takes off in that game, that would be goated. Like, that would be goated to have like fake transfer applications or something for all of like the students in the student section. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, man, I think that'd be great. And Big Mike saying, hey, this might be like the UCF game, man. 35 to 17. Dude, Ryan Staub puts himself on, I'll just say it, man. Ryan Staub Heisman campaign till it's not a thing. Right? Till it's not a thing. But
we're at that point in the show, guys, where I'm sure lots of people will be clipping us and taking this completely out of context, thinking that,
I love being clipped out of context. It's one of my favorite pastimes. But yeah, if Ryan Staub throws for 300 yards in this game,
what are you doing, Dave? Streaking?
I'm not doing a Taco Bell ad again until they give him a cup. Not doing.
Oh, you're gonna have to talk to Taco Bell about that.
I know,
bud.
man. I'm a tough negotiator.
Yeah. Be like, can we at least get a Staub shirt? Something.
A Staub shirt, man. So, but yeah, Russ, thanks for doing this with me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are what makes this fun. Sports should be fun. Sports should be unifying. And thankfully, with CU, you're on one of the most thrilling rides week to week of all time, man. Being a Colorado Buffaloes fan.
That's right.
It is never boring. It is never boring. Not anymore. It's
nope.
thrilling. So, Russ, what you got going on? How can people find you? And we'll do a post game together, right? You're not going down to Houston.
No, I'm not going down to Houston this week. So you and I post game show this weekend on Saturday or Friday night, baby. We got a Friday night post game show. So yeah, I'll do something in the afternoon on Friday, a little pregame, and then obviously Friday night the post game, and then Monday, guys. Is it going to be Crash Out Monday or is it going to be Victory Monday? We've had both. I will say, Dave, I got a lot more phone calls on Crash Out Monday than I did Victory Monday. I was a little surprised, but also not.
It does want to go Dark Side Dave, man. I'm just not Dark Side this week, but
I know. We're there. But yeah, hey, everybody, like the video, by the way, while you're here. I tell you guys all the time, easiest way to support content creators is by simply hitting that like button on both videos and, of course, being subscribed to those channels. Because I tell you, when you get those likes way up there, the videos get pushed out to a lot more people who then can find our channels and be a part of the community. So make sure you guys are hitting that like while you're in here. And if you're watching this later on, hey, if you like what you saw, hit that like button as well. Dave, I appreciate you. I'm glad we got to do this, talking sports, the great equalizer. It's a fun thing to get to just talk sports for a little while and not have to worry about things. So appreciate you for.
I'm in a much better mood now. Imagine that.
Talking football, football, baby. That's all. Yeah. That's what it's all about. But excited for Friday night. Let's hope we get a dub and we can celebrate on the post game show with everybody.
Dude, let's hope so. Yes. At the end of the day, man, stop. Dean, which great white hope is it going to be?
Dean Connors, Connor Wegman.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to stop the white.
Or Tanner Kazoil. I mean, this is like. You got three like yes. Yeah, not to start anything.
Doyle, man. Middle name Brandon. That's just what we're saying. We gotta stop them all, man. Yes, also we got this hype points in here, guys. Please do that. I don't know what it does, but it does something.
It pushes our videos up, but I guess the description I read says that it's supposed to do something with the algorithm to help push us out to more people, the more hype we are.
Hype house. Do you remember the Hype House days?
I don't.
The Hype
I
House,
don't.
Like all these creators that lived in this stupid house and like.
Oh gosh.
They'd just make viral videos with each other. Imagine we had a CU Hype House
with all the content creators. Could you imagine, Dave? Could you imagine what would happen in that Hype House? How many fights do you think there would be in a Hype House?
One of them's getting
CU content creators
if we're putting them all in there. But yeah,
could you imagine put Matt McChesney in there, put the DNVR guys, put us, put Adam Munster Tiger in there.
That'd be a lot of fun, man. And
Chico in there.
Did you see that there's a new CU podcast, by the way?
That's right. S2S Buffs, I believe.
Oh, well, yes. Shout out to Manny.
Yes, that's right, Manny.
To Voice of College Football, Colorado.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's it.
But dude, a couple old time buffs. Bobby, I always name correctly. Passivino or
no? CJ, are you talking about CJ and Big Al?
No, but we also got them. Man, I always
pronounce. They're catching up, man. Outlets are catching up, knowing that CU's got the coverage. So let's give CU the actual official media coverage.
Yeah, dude. Here it is. It's called sorry, I'm keeping you late, but I want to let people know about this.
Yeah.
Because I think Bobby Pasavento was the last quarterback. Well, no, we didn't win the conference in 2018 or 2016. But he was the last quarterback here when we won the Big 12.
That's correct.
I think so. And now
I remember watching good old Bobby play.
Yeah, the Armchair Buffaloes. Here it is. Give them a subscribe, guys, because they started this, and it's two, former Buffs. Let me show you here, and they're not even at 1,000 yet, so we got to help them out.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Maybe we'll get one of them on at some point. Maybe they'll respect us fans enough to want to be a part of a show and promote what they're doing over there.
Big Al doing his thing again, man. I love Big Al. He's probably my favorite Buff of all time.
I was at the Fan when he was working there, and that was like the ultimate combo in sports radio in Denver was Big Al and D-Mac in the afternoons. That was my favorite show. I got to work on the show a little bit.
I did not know you worked with Big Al and D-Mac.
Oh, yeah. I worked with, and Schlereth was there at the station when I was there. He was in the morning. Klatt was there, by the way. I met Klatt. I've had a number of conversations with him before he made it big. Man, back in those old classic days of sports radio in Denver back in the 2000s, 2010s, it was a good time. It was a good time to listen to sports radio.
I listened to Big Al and D-Mac religiously.
Oh, yeah.
I never listened to another radio show the way that I listened to them too, man.
Do you remember where you were when Peyton Manning got announced to the Broncos? Like, I was listening to 104.3 24/7 waiting for an announcement. That was my thing at work. I was listening to it when I was at the radio station. It was, on in the offices. It was a crazy time.
Dude, man, I love Big Al. Dude, I was heartbroken when
they fired him.
The Fan dude, they just let him go, and then
they didn't fire him. I should say his contract ended. I think he wanted a little more money. They didn't say it was worth it. He moved on to 850 KOA, and that didn't really go successful because who listens to AM sports radio anymore? But I'm glad to see him get caught on somewhere and get into the internet age of online podcasts and radio.
Because Charles Johnson was over at the Fan too for a bit,
right? He was on after Alfred was. So good old talking about Denver sports radio, guys. If you're not a local, it's a little hard to understand.
I do have an autograph from Big Al when I went to Broncos training camp as a kid, man. And man, I just love Big Al. I love him so much.
You'd appreciate it, Dave, because I was working there during the Tebow time, and I got to go to Broncos training camp as a member of the media during that time. So I got to see, Tebow time up close.
I bet that was interesting. Buddy, it's at my mom's house. The hat's at my mom's house. Sorry, man. Don't have it here. But yeah, Big Al's great, dude.
Yep. No. So yeah, hey, check out all of the CU content creators along with our show. We appreciate you guys so much for joining us today. Hey, Dave.
Oh, wait, I just got to say, I know he might be in the running for least popular Colorado associated or Colorado adjacent YouTubers. What'd you think of our friend Rawhide calling it 3 weeks ago that I see you
Ryan Staub
fine with Ryan Staub, man? Wasn't that hilarious?
I'm not going to say anything about it. There's a lot I could say about it.
Dude,
hey, Debbie, say I did
so
too.
Much.
Say I did too. Help me out too. I love those guys.
Dude, that was the funniest thing.
Say Russ and Dave sent you from the Buff Blitz. Go check it out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. Well, thanks for doing some overtime with me, Russ. I really appreciate it. Again, guys, have fun. We'll see you guys at the end of the game on my grandpa's 100th birthday, by the way. So I will be out of the studio, but I will be doing the post game with you. So we'll see you guys then. Have a wonderful evening. Go Buffs.
Go Buffs.